What's going on YouTube? JordanKnowMoore here. Today we're going to do a portrait of an artist I very much admire. His work has always inspired me, and I'd assume many others as well. Most people know him for his peaceful demeanor and happy trees. Of course, I'm talking about Bob Ross. Let's get started. First, we're going to need to find a good picture of Bob Ross. So let's jump on Google. I kind of already went into this knowing exactly what I wanted to do. Where is it? There it is. It's not the most popular picture of Bob Ross, but it's one of my favorites. Let's take this image. We're going to use this as our source. Usually I source multiple images, so I'm never just making an exact copy of one photo. All right, so we're going to go into Procreate. You're going to get a new canvas going. I generally like to make them 11 by 17, relatively big canvas if I want to print it. You never know. So let's go and add our source image here. There. Bob. Let's bring him into frame. Look at that. For starters, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do your line work first. I'm going to essentially trace. I don't know if you've seen Chasing Amy, but I think that there's an art form to tracing.
So basically, you just trace.
It's not tracing, all right? I add depth and shading to give the image more definition.
So what we're going to do, we're going to take our source image and we're going to make it about 50% opacity. So go ahead and make a new layer, and we're going to pick our near under brush, but I've labeled it near under Jordan because I like a certain set of settings. I generally start in the face and move my way out. The face is like the most detail, and then as you get further out, at least this is my style, I like to have lesser and lesser detail. Because you want to kind of draw attention to the fact that it's a drawing. So I want some parts of it to be like sketchy, pun intended. We're just trying to identify where the darkest areas of your image are going to be. You could easily just draw lines where you think everything needs a line, and then your image is going to look like shit. Or you could be very deliberate with your lines and have solid image. Look at that, just little happy little lines. Some things, some details in an image, especially like stitching, and there's just certain things that are just hard lines. You can just you can make the margin call for yourself, you know. Another note to be wary of when it comes to line work is to know when to go off script. Know when there is something to be like directly traced, or something that you take artistic liberties in doing. And some of the things that I did is, in this image, if you want to look, when I removed the source image, you'll see that I've done some very specific line work around the outer edge that is just way thicker, and around the beard, around the nose. Look at that. Certain details that I just know are going to make the image pop in the end, that, you know, when you look at the source image, probably not even really there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in, we're going to start adding some color. So how you do that is we'll bring in the image at full opacity now. We're going to make a new layer. What you're going to do, this is the real secret sauce of my artistic process when it comes to making these portraits of people that are really kind of like the Drew Struzan style of artwork. I like to use this brush, the old brush. What you do is you're going to get your brush set up. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold down the area you're going to paint and source the color from the existing source image. This is the trick. I'm not inventing the colors, I'm actually just borrowing the colors from the actual image. That's how I get the most accurate tones. Start right here, get the nice skin tone color going on, and you'll notice that you don't even really see what I'm doing. If I went way over here, look at that. Oh yeah, you can totally see what I just did. But what you do is you just start sourcing these colors. See? I'm just doing little strokes of different areas and just really starting to piece this thing together. Sometimes you want to make it a little messy, you don't want to make it perfect, you know, and this is, again, another process where you can take artistic liberties and really figure out what you want your picture to look like. Sometimes I'll set up a camera and take a photograph of myself with separate lighting to match the tone that I'm looking for, and use the shadows and tone from that photo on top of my source image, kind of blending the two to get that look.
2 hours later.
I like this brush called the Twig brush. It's a great brush to create an effect of hair. You'll notice all of these little lines right here like this. Add little detail of hair. When you zoom out, it creates a great effect. So once we have our color, one of the things we're going to do is dodging and burning. It's a very important part of the process, is creating contrast in an otherwise very flat image. I like to use the same exact brush, the old brush. It's kind of the only one I use. And when we're doing dodging, we're basically creating highlights. Add some more sheen to his forehead there. Look at that. Look at that. Right. And this is a very kind of just rough process. You just doodling little lines, you know? Nothing very precise. Oh, here we go. So we'll make the brush real small, and look at this little area right here, right along the edge of the shirt. You'd think some light would bounce off of that, so just make a little sheen on that. It looks way better. I do the same thing in the shadow areas. So let's take the splatter tool, and we're just gonna find some areas that could do with a little bit more contrast. I did try, so my intention here was to have a happy tree in this painting, but I'm just not that good. I will not do justice to Bob Ross's happy trees, and I'm not gonna copy and paste, so we're just gonna do without. One of the things I like to do to just add a little extra pop to all of these images, and you might notice this in some of Drew Struzan's artwork, is a very strong white outline. Just a detail, it's a weird detail I've noticed in a lot of his artwork that I just love. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. So when you're done with your work, one of the last things you gotta do is sign it. And I like to cleverly find a way to hide my signature into my artwork. There's some of the greatest artists do this, where you just hide it in there. You don't just sign the bottom, it's just boring. And this one, I found the perfect spot, the perfect opportunity to hide my signature on his paint, what do you call these things? Tray? A palette. Podcast Shawn here, coming to the rescue with the name. So there you go, look at that. That's hidden in the palette. No one would even know. Well, happy painting. God bless.